In this video, I'm going to outline some of the main issues that your staff might have when you first ask them to start tracking their time and how to address them. And this can really impact team culture if it's not handled properly because it's a really sensitive topic. Hopefully this gives you some ideas about how to pitch it to your team. The first one, and I've felt this personally in other jobs, is that people feel like they're being micromanaged by Big Brother and they're not being trusted to do their job. You need to be really open with your team when implementing time tracking amongst the team. And this focus is about client profitability. This is not about looking at individual employees and assessing their performance. And this needs to be made really clear. And often you'll make the metrics all based around how we're going against servicing clients and not looking at team-based stuff at all. And making this visible shows them that the data is not being used against them to track them. And it helps them actually see how their time is contributing to the overall success of the business. They start to get an understanding and think like an entrepreneur because they can see how their time is connected to that client profitability or how their division is going as a result of it. So it can be a really positive thing. Another objection is that it creates more workload, actually tracking it rather than just doing the work. This will take some time to build the habit of time tracking amongst your team. But actually, it doesn't take that long to record. And only track the key categories that you need to start. Don't make it too onerous with too many labels for people to put, or too many buckets for people to put their time. Try and make it as a simple and efficient process as possible to begin to remove this and help them build that habit. Another objection is that it amplifies the productivity cost of task switching and people lose focus. It's another thing to do whilst they're changing jobs or changing tasks. Again, keep it big picture to start. We don't have to keep the clock on every minute of every second in every day. Some people prefer just to do a rough summary of what they spent their time on at the end of the day. Some people prefer to write it down on a piece of paper on their to-do list to roughly track it there and then put it into your time tracking software at the end of the day. Be flexible with how your team want to do it. If they get a lot of kind of resistance to it to begin, try and work with them and find a solution for that. Another one is that the short tasks take more time to track it than they do to do them. Again, this is about simplifying the buckets of options of where people can put their time. Maybe there is an admin bucket or a general bucket, but we still need to track the non-billable time to see where we're spending it. So again, it's about working with someone to identify what the key areas you need to be looking at and not making it too complex for them. Another really big one is that time tracking encourages dishonesty. Everyone makes up their responses because they know what you want to hear and you can't really use that data. The first one is to actually show them, is my response to number one, show them that it's about client profitability. It's not about looking at their day and what they're doing. This is about working out how we can drive better performance across our portfolio. And also show that it's about trying to capture the big picture trends, the month-on-month trends amongst the client list. It's not about zeroing in on one particular month, but it's about looking at trends and seeing if time's going up on certain projects consistently. Maybe there's some out of scope work that needs to be addressed there. So I think the more they see that they're not being pulled up on time and it's not being used against them, the more it will encourage honesty. But that can only happen if you do it consistently, if you're making the data visible and you're explaining why you're using it as well. So you can't be in a vacuum at the top with a vertical hierarchy and try and not tell them about this. You need to bring the team on the journey for this. Some people say it's unnecessary. And for some businesses, yes, that's true. If you have got a really good idea of what your team do and you've got a really good idea of your client list and service offering, some people are successful and they don't do it. But if you feel like you're leaving some profits on the table, you feel like your wage bill's too high and you don't understand why you don't have a high net profit, this can really help unpack why. So it's not mandatory. Not everyone does it. But I think to drive that better performance in a business, it's a really, really important tool. And the final objection is that we don't charge by the hour. So why do we track by the hour? The simplest way to answer this is that your wage cost is often the biggest expense in the business, regardless of how you price, value, or, cost plus, whatever you want to use. So you need to see where this investment is being spent and how to best invest that time in order to get the best ROI. And having that extra data point of time helps you understand that. Otherwise, you're kind of flying blind and you're in the dark a little bit when it comes to it. We want the best bang for our buck, but we also want to make the team happy. We're looking for win-wins here. Hopefully, this has given you some ideas to help address the main objections when implementing time tracking amongst your team, and give you some ideas about how to kind of implement it amongst them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.